Bueno, le damos la bienvenida a todas las personas que nos acompañan el día de hoy en este webinar informativo con University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign College of Law, ubicada en los Estados Unidos. Mi nombre es Karen Martínez y hago parte del equipo de Relaciones Internacionales y Consejería Académica de Colfuturo. Y el día de hoy estoy muy bien acompañada con Margaret. Ella nos hablará sobre cosas muy importantes para todas las personas que estén interesadas en llevar a cabo un posgrado en este país y en esta institución en particular, adicionalmente en el área del derecho. Quiero contarles a todos, como lo han podido observar, que este mes de noviembre está lleno de eventos para ustedes, de webinars informativos, tanto preparatorios a nuestra próxima convocatoria 2025, como también con las universidades de convenio que están ubicadas en los Estados Unidos. Así que no se pueden perder todas estas oportunidades para contactarse directamente con un representante de las instituciones. Adicionalmente, y pues en el marco de este webinar, les cuento que tenemos un convenio, un acuerdo de cooperación con la Universidad de Illinois, y es que les podrá ofrecer un descuento del 50% en el valor de la matrícula a dos beneficiarios de Colfuturo que estén admitidos en el programa de LL.M. Así que no se pueden perder este tipo de sesiones, no pueden desaprovechar las oportunidades que les ofrecen estas instituciones, pueden hacer todas las preguntas que consideren pertinentes a través del cajón de Q&A y Margaret y yo las estaremos resolviendo a lo largo de la sesión. Así que sin mayor preámbulo, Margaret, thank you so much for being here today. We are so happy to have you with us and listen all the valuable information that you have. So you can go ahead and start your presentation.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Karen, for inviting me. It's my pleasure to be here today. For all of you, my name is Margaret Etienne. I am the Associate Dean for Graduate and International Programs at the University of Illinois. And we are very, very happy to have you join us at the webinar today. So I start with giving you greetings. This is our alma mater, the statue that you would see if you arrive at the campus of the University of Illinois. I begin here and we welcome our visitors to begin here because we want to express that the University of Illinois is an incredibly welcoming place, and we open our arms out to you and hope that you will gain very much from your experience. So this is, as I mentioned, the opening greeting for the University of Illinois. But let me begin by telling you a little bit about where we are. Some of you will know where Illinois is located. Of course, we are in the Midwest, in the center of the country. So within the United States, we are in the very almost middle, one of the middle states in the middle of the country. And within that state of Illinois, we are in the middle of the state. So we are located in central Illinois. And the area is often referred to as Champaign-Urbana or Urbana-Champaign. It's two towns that are very closely connected that almost really make one. About our campus, we are a very traditional, what we call a Big Ten land grant institution, founded in 1867 when the federal government helped to found many large universities across the country with the purpose of educating locally, statewide, but also nationally and now internationally. In fact, we have 55,000 or more students in our university. And a lot of those, almost 20%, 11,000 of those students are international students, and they come from over 123 different countries, at least in the last year that we have records to show. So when you walk along our campus, you will feel like you are on a global campus. Although we are located, of course, in the middle of the country in Illinois. We have over 24 million items in our library collections. We have over 20 different areas of study. So I am speaking to you today from the law school, but we have many, many other departments. And that means that our law school is also very interdisciplinary. So we pride ourselves on considering many other disciplines. So on our very campus, across the street or nearly across the street is the business school, the School of Education. We have many other campus units that are very close by. to the law school. Our campus, as I mentioned, it's a Big Ten university, which actually has more than 10 schools in it now. But what that means is we're very well known for our sports. We're very well known for football, American football, basketball, and other sports. But we also are very well known for our arts and our humanities. We have one of the top um, performing arts centers. The university's Cranner Center for Performing Arts has multiple theaters and seats 4,000 people. It is one of the top centers in the state for viewing performing arts. We also have an amazing Cranner Museum of Art, which is across the street from the law school, in fact, and also hosts very reputable pieces and has important exhibits that go through all the time. It's important for students because the students here have access to many, many performances. We have, as I mentioned, the Cranner Center for Performing Arts hosts over 350 performances every year. And for many of these performances, students can go for free or for very low cost, maybe $5 or $10 for a ticket that would normally cost $50 or $75 for non-students. There are also just down the street from us is a state-of-the-art recreation facility. So it's a large gym, as you can see here, with the big outdoor pool. It also has an Olympic-sized interior swimming pool. It has a climbing wall. It has a kitchen, and of course, many basketball courts and squash courts and workout classes and things like that. It's an amazing, amazing facility, an indoor track, of course. And this is someplace that our students who, if you're a student, you have access to this without additional cost. In addition to these campus benefits, there are over 40 student organizations just at the law school. There are many, many more on campus, but within the law school, you could be part of the Corporate Law Students Society or the International Law Students Society, or many other organizations that gear to different interests that students have. Here's our campus. Our campus, it's a very beautiful campus. And you can see that it's quite large, but this is an aerial view. And so I wanted to give you an idea of the many, many parts of campus. It's very green. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a very fun place for students to spend time. We are regularly ranked in the top 10 best college towns in America, and students can get around easily. Public transportation is free, and it also has a very vibrant community, lots of restaurants and coffee shops, and there's cinemas and parks and things like that. I've talked to you a little bit about the campus. I started from, the state, the university, and now I'm going to talk more just about the law school specifically. So we're working our way in. The College of Law, we have several degree programs. The JD degree program, the LL.M, Master's in Law. We have the MSL, and we also have the JSD. All of our students, regardless of what degree program you're in, are taking the same classes for the most part. So if you are an LL.M student or a JD student, you would be taught by the same professors. You would be taught by the same professors in the JSD program, taking many of the same classes as well. Our classes are, of course, a wide range. So we have about 150 courses that are offered every year for students to choose from. And students can choose from a wide range of courses. For the LL.M program, for example, there are only 2 required courses, and all the other courses are courses that students may choose. Our faculty is one of the top faculties in the country, if not the world. We have graduates from all of the top law schools, including the University of Illinois, of course, but also Harvard, Yale, University of Chicago. Many of our faculty members have multiple degrees, that is a JD as well as PhD, and we are incredibly productive. We are known for our teaching, but we're also known for our research. So we publish very widely, and are one of the most productive faculties in the country in terms of how often our work is cited by others, either in courts or in other journals. Our law library is one of the top in the country. We are ranked number 22 in terms of the largest law libraries, but I feel like we are probably number one in terms of the quality of our librarians. We have amazing librarians who are often always there to help you. And we are one of the seventh largest research library in the United States. So that is a very, very amazing fact that we're proud of. So if you think about all the research libraries in the country, we're number 7. So there are very few resources in terms of research that you wouldn't find. Again, our reference librarians are experts. All of our reference librarians have degrees in law as well as in information sciences. Student life is also something that we're very, very proud of. As I mentioned, we have a large international population in the University of Illinois. That's also true in the law school. So within the law school, we have over 30 countries represented regularly. We almost often have students from Colombia, many students from South America, of course. And the student life and the organizations that they find are something that we are very proud of. So we have student organizations that cover a very wide range of social and cultural backgrounds. There are, in addition, I mentioned there are about 150 classes to choose from. We also have over 100 lectures and events each year. So what I mean by that are these are not courses, but these are speakers who come for one day or for a lunch hour to share with us their expertise. And there are almost every day many, many events for students to choose from on all sorts of topics, from artificial intelligence to family law to global warming to trade and corporate law. So many organizations and so many events each day. We also have for our students, particularly our LLM students, love to participate in the negotiation competition and in client counseling competition. We have some moot court activities that are available for students to watch as well. And we have many, many social events that are held at the law school. So here in this photograph, you see pictures of a fall festival, which we hold almost every fall. In this one, you see students who are carving pumpkins in October. We have an intercultural night where students share food and cultural facts from their various countries. And we have a public service fundraising auction, just to name a few. I share with you a little program I already mentioned to you. We've been around for a very long time in terms of having an LLM program, about 50 years at least of our LLM program going back. Why is that important? That's important because if you do the LLM and you go back to your home country, you will typically find that there's a robust group of alumni from Illinois. So for example, I just returned from a trip to Argentina where I met with alums ranging back from the 1970s through to the 1920s. And that's a very, very important source of connection for our alums, and it's something we're very proud of. It's also true in Colombia. We have had alums from our LLM program for many years. And so a very robust LLM organization, or group, I should say, in Colombia. Now, let me share with you a little bit about our areas of study. So if you come to the University of Illinois for your LLM, there are 3 typical programs, 3 tracks, we like to call it. First, there's the general LLM. I mentioned to you that there are 2 courses that are required for all LLM students. For a student who's doing the general LLM, That would mean that all of their other courses can be chosen from anywhere in our curriculum. So they will customize a program based on their own interests. The bar fundamentals track is a different track where students will opt to take a series of courses that we know from our experience have been very helpful in preparing for the bar exam. So many students come with that as a primary goal. They want to take the New York bar or the Texas bar, the California bar, etc. And they want to take the courses to prepare them for that. Many will opt for the bar fundamentals track. The concentration track is the third way in which a student can complete an LLM. And in the concentration track, a student will opt to take at least half of their courses from a specific list of classes within a concentration. We have several concentrations to choose from. 7, corporate law, commercial trade, corporate law, commercial law and trade. There's criminal law, intellectual property and technology. There's international and comparative law. We also have a concentration in justice, democracy, and legal rights. And we have a concentration in regulation, sustainability, and compliance. Not listed here is a 7th concentration in legal practice skills that is only open to students who are doing a 3-semester program, a 3-semester LLM. In addition, we have the Chicago program. I mentioned to you and showed you pictures of our campus, which is a beautiful and very traditional college campus. And for those who don't want to be in a large city, but want to be in a place where it's more manageable, the prices are lower, it's safe for the most part, they love to be in Champaign-Urbana. But some students also want to have the city experience. At the University of Illinois, you can do both. We have a Chicago program that allows students to spend 1 semester of their time, if they would like, in Chicago, taking courses in Chicago and living in Chicago. That is offered in the spring semester every year. Typically, I have to say, though, that most students arrive for the LLM in the fall, and they are here in Champaign for the first semester. And maybe they come with the intention of going to Chicago for the next semester, but they tend to like Champaign-Urbana so much that we don't often have many students that choose to do the full Chicago program. Occasionally, a student will take 1 course in Chicago and they'll travel to Chicago every Thursday or Friday or 1 or 2 days a week to take the course. The Chicago is approximately 2 hours away from Champaign, and you can get there by car or by train. There's a train that goes directly from Champaign to Chicago, so that's how many students choose to do it. But the Chicago program, if you do choose to be involved, includes courses that are taught in Chicago at several of the law firms where we have alumni for the most part, many of the major law firms in Chicago. And there are also events and lectures that are open to students, all students in Chicago during that time. We have many, many of our alums in Chicago, and so it's a great place to participate in alumni networking and activities. The LLM curriculum consists of 2 required courses: the LLM Legal Research and Writing class, as well as a course on legal ethics, which is called Professional Responsibility. Those 2 courses are required for every law student. Every LLM student, every JD student must take those 2 classes, not just at Illinois, but every school that is accredited by the American Bar Association in the United States requires those 2 classes. So you need those 2 classes as well for many bar exams. So they are a required part of our curriculum, requirement for LLM students. That is approximately 4 or 5 classes each semester. So that would mean that in addition to the 2 required courses, students must take approximately 6 or 7 other courses while they're here for the LLM degree. And those are the courses from which you can choose. There's a lot of flexibility in that, depending on which track you select. Speaking of flexibility, we have a very flexible study program here. So the LLM program, you can start in the fall, that is in August, and graduate in the August to December uh, uh, semester, and you graduate in May. Or you can start your LLM degree in January, and then which case you would graduate in December. Students can, or 3 semesters. Um, Most students complete it in 2 semesters, but every year there are many students who choose to stay for an additional semester to take additional bar courses or to improve their English or to participate in an activity or take courses that they didn't have an opportunity to take in during the LLM. As you can see here, we have a very diverse population within the law school, and that is very important because if you once you complete your LLM degree, you will know lawyers all over the world. You will know lawyers from Ghana and Nigeria and Italy and China and many other countries in Latin America as well, many countries in Asia. So our students, our alumni, our graduates have shared with me that is one of the most valuable aspects of the program for them that they didn't realize when they applied. Is how diverse our LLM program is and what that means for them as alumni and the very broad networking opportunities they will have. Many alumni have shared with me that they have gotten clients or other business deals when some of the Illinois alumni from other countries have called them. We are a very affordable school, relatively speaking. Law school is expensive, and we recognize that law school is very expensive. And so we do a number of things to assist with that. First, there's no application fee. So you don't have to apply to find out if you will be accepted or what your scholarship will be. The cost of living in Urbana-Champaign is much, much lower than in most parts of the United States. I, for example, grew up in New York City, and I know that it costs a lot less to live for housing, food, transportation, etc. In Champaign-Urbana than it does in Chicago or New York or San Francisco or Austin, for example. And so these are very, very important considerations, particularly for students who are paying for the costs of the LLM program. In addition, we also have a significant discount for CoFuturo recipients or applicants, and that is a 50% off tuition for all of our admitted students who come through CoFuturo. So this is a very important factor for you as well. This is how you would apply. There are 2 ways to apply to Illinois. One is you can apply directly through our website, and that will take you to the Illinois Graduate College application process. As I mentioned, there's no cost to apply in that way. Or you can apply, like for many other law schools, through LSAC, the LSAC, and that is a portal in which you could submit your application to many schools, including Illinois. They do usually charge an application fee, but we waive the application fee. So we would prefer for you to apply through the graduate college website. Application requirements include the following. We want a completed application, so there's a form for you to complete. There is a resume or CV for you to you must include. We also ask that you write a statement of purpose explaining why you want to study at the University of Illinois, why you think this is a good fit for you, why you're interested in an LLM, and what you think you will do with that LLM. Those are some of the things we like to see in the statement of purpose, what makes you a unique applicant, and how you would contribute to the University of Illinois were you to be admitted here as a student. We ask that you submit a transcript, transcripts as well, in addition to at least one letter of recommendation. Ideally, the letter of recommendation should be from someone who knows your work, either a professor or an employer who has worked closely with you or who who've had an opportunity to evaluate your work. And finally, there is a English proficiency requirement, which you have to show through one of three ways. We accept the TOEFL, the IELTS, and currently we accept the Duolingo as well. There's not a specific deadline in the sense that we have a year-round rolling admission. That is, we consider applications all year long, but we would let you know when you apply what the first time of admission you would be able to come. So as I mentioned, we have August starting and January starting students. And so depending on when you apply, you would either be eligible to start in January or you would be able to start in August. Of course, you can specify and say, you know, I want to start in August, and we would be able to and honor that, or you can defer if you would like to start in August, but for some reason you're not able to arrive in time or you need more time, you are often able to defer your admission for the next semester. Any additional information about our programs, about our applications, you can find on our website. So I would encourage all of you to look at law.illinois.edu, and you can certainly from there find our LLM information, but you can also put in the /apply-LLM to our LLM page. I want to end by showing you again a picture of our campus. We think we have a very, very beautiful campus, and so we like to start and end our presentations with that. There's no way that a PowerPoint can really show accurately how gorgeous, how green, how expansive our campus is, but this is our best effort to do that. So this is a picture that looks over at the main quadrangle toward one of the large auditoriums on our campus, Bollinger Hall Auditorium. So with that, I'd like to end by asking you to contact the Office of Graduate and International Programs with any questions that you have. We pride ourselves in answering our emails, usually within 24 hours, if not sooner. So thank you very much. With that, I will end the PowerPoint.
Perfect, Margaret. Thank you so much for all the information that is so useful for all of us. I know that many of our attendees are already clear about the generalities of the university and of the program. So now we will move on to the question section. So the first question that we have is, to study any of your programs, do I have to be a lawyer by profession, or can I have another degree such as political science or international relations?
This is a very great question. So many LL.M degree programs in the United States require you to be a lawyer to join the program. However, the University of Illinois, because we pride ourselves in being very interdisciplinary, we do not require a student to have a law degree in order to join our LL.M program. Having said that, you have to understand that if you come as a non-lawyer, you will not be able to take a bar exam in the United States. Every state, for the most part, will require you to have a prior law degree before you can take before you can take a bar exam. There's maybe one exception to that, which is a long story. But that would be what I would say to most students. If you have a background in political science, some people have a background in journalism or in trade or in employment or contracts, and they're interested in knowing more about law because it will help them, or a background or you're interested in politics, or you just want to study in the United States for a short period of time. This could be a program that works for you, but you will not be able to practice law in the United States with that degree.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And also in the same question, Alfreda is asking, you require a specific GPA to be admitted?
We do not have a specific GPA requirement because we look at the whole student. But of course, we prefer students with a higher GPA because that shows us that you have strong study skills. And law is one of the areas in which you will be doing a lot of reading as a law student, a lot of writing, and we expect students to speak in class. So we certainly consider all applicants, but we prefer, some evidence that you are prepared to do the amount of work and reading in law school. Now, I will add that sometimes we'll have students with maybe lower GPAs, but they have a lot of practice experience. So if you have been practicing law for 9, 10, 11 years, your GPA, maybe you had a lower GPA in law school or as an undergraduate, but you have proven or you have evidence to show us that you're able to understand the law and do the amount of work and reading that's required. So that's an example of how we consider the whole student, not just the number.
And TOEFL.
So for TOEFL, the minimum score, usually we look at the low end, but if you have a 87 score, 88 score in TOEFL, for example, we would want to see that you're very strong in every other category, because that will show us that your English still maybe needs some improvement. We also, but most of our students' scores are in the 90s or 100. So we will consider lower scores if the rest of your application is very strong. For IELTS, it's 6.5. And for Duolingo, it's 115. So those are the minimum scores that we would require. But again, we look at the whole application. We are also in the process of launching a joint program, a dual intensive English and law program. So for students who have even a lower IELTS or TOEFL score, but would like to begin their law career, they could apply to us, and we would assist them with an intensive English program to start while they're starting law or immediately before they begin the law program.
Awesome, thank you. Well, Diana said, thank you so much for the information. And could you please clarify what is the relationship of the university with Chicago? Could we take classes in Chicago?
So we have a Chicago program that is held in the spring semester. That means January to May for our spring. And so students are able to take courses in Chicago. Some students you can take there's several courses offered in Chicago. So, and students need 4 or 5 classes per semester. So it's possible to take all 4 or 5 classes in Chicago and live in Chicago for that semester. Or you may take just one class in Chicago. So for example, if a student has a class in Chicago that's on Fridays, they would take the train Friday morning, take the class in Chicago. They could spend the weekend in Chicago if they want, or they could come back on Friday evening, and they would take the rest of their classes in Champaign-Urbana. So that is possible as well. If a student wants to do that is possible. But it is not possible to take all of your classes in Chicago because we don't have a Chicago program in the fall semester.
Okay, David says, at the end of the program, can I pursue my degree in the USA, or once the program has finished, should I return to my country?
So once the program is finished, you can stay in the United States for an internship usually, or for work under our program, under an OPT program that extends your visa. You can also apply to a different degree program. So some students will choose to do the LL.M and then maybe do a JSD or get a PhD in another subject. So that is certainly possible. Students who come as exchange students sometimes will stay from the exchange program and stay for the LL.M program. So there are multiple ways that you can choose to stay to continue your studies or to get more experience. So we have many students who stay and work for a year under the OPT allowed extension to get a little bit more legal experience.
Perfect. And the last question that we have is, what I understood about the scholarships was that only 2 beneficiaries were going to receive the discount. But then I heard you say that anyone accepted in Colfuturo program will receive the 50% discount. Could you please clarify that? Thank you.
Okay, so I think that for that question, I would probably refer more to the Cofuturo program to understand the exact number that they would allow. And so for that, any students who's accepted or admitted through the Cofuturo would receive the discount. Now, if you don't receive the Cofuturo scholarship or assistance, or you're not admitted through that program, you can still apply to the University of Illinois, and you would still be eligible for a scholarship. Every student who applies to the University of Illinois is considered for a scholarship. And more than 80% of our students have a scholarship. So you don't have to only apply through the Cofuturo program in order to receive a scholarship, but the Cofuturo program, because of our long-standing partnership with Cofuturo, we provide one of our highest scholarships through the Cofuturo program.
Awesome. Well, Margaret, thank you so much again. We don't have more questions for you. So this was a so productive session and you solved all the questions that we had. So thank you, and we look forward to staying in touch with you to continue offering all these resources and information to our students in Colombia. Thank you so much, Margaret.
Thank you very, very much. It was my pleasure to share information about Illinois, and I hope to see many of you soon.
Thank you. Y a todos nuestros asistentes también muchísimas gracias por su participación, por su interés y sus preguntas. Recuerden que todo este mes de noviembre estaremos desarrollando este tipo de webinars con universidades de convenio ubicadas en los Estados Unidos. Asimismo, estaremos realizando sesiones informativas previas a la convocatoria, así que no se los pueden perder. Mil gracias por su asistencia y los esperamos en próximas ocasiones. Thank you, Margaret. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.